Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers out there. My name is KibbyRose. I'm Authortubes, Lesbian, Psychic Stoner. I am here to fill your day with a little bit of current events news, information about the planetary energies and the influences, some horoscopy stuff, and how it all intertwines with everything. So let me go ahead. Oh, and horoscopes at the end. So let me go ahead and run the opener and we'll get on with our day. So I'm going to do a quick overview for anybody who's new here so you know how we do it and to give you guys an idea of what we're going to cover for today. In personal rants, which is going to be the first little blurb that we do here, I'm going to cover daylight savings times and what the shift does to the humans. I'm also going to cover some energies on the solar mass junction, and I'm going to cover some influences of what the planetary conjunctions and everything else is going on, because that is what is causing my brain to just be like today. So forgive me, number one, if I seem a bit glitchy. I have been glitchy all day. I've been struggling. I'm already aware of it, and I know, but that's what's going on with me. Then we do a 10-minute sprint so I can get my head organized, because I'm going to need it, and then for everybody else to get organized as well. And then I'm going to cover the planetary influences. Then we're going to do another 20-minute sprint. Then I'm going to cover current event rants that I have that will intertwine all the planetary influences with things, so you can get the over arc of how the energies are influencing everybody. Then a 20-minute sprint, and then I cover horoscopes, and at the end we do a little cheers to basically set the energy straight before we leave the stream. So hello and welcome to everyone who's new. I appreciate you coming in and watching. I have a lot of new viewers that have been coming in. 50% of you aren't subscribed and you're return viewers, so it's free. Like and subscribe, hit that little button down below. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 5 p.m. I try to be as consistent as possible, unless my Crohn's or my fibromyalgia acts up. Other than that, I'm here for you. For all my replay crew, I appreciate you guys so much. I see that and I comment and everything else. I do really appreciate it. And just remember to, I appreciate you guys coming in, liking and subscribing. Just remember to hit that, do comments too, because that makes that little algorithm happy. And the more people that we can get my episodes out to, or my live streams out to, so we can help people set themselves for the week or the month or the year and understand influences a little bit better, I think, especially right now, the better off we're going to all be. So that is how we do things around here. I already ran the intro. So let me close the door real quick, because the echo is bothering me with my neurodivergence. That is what my ear is focusing on. So give me 1 second. And I always forget to close that door because we just recently cleaned it out. And now it has a massive echo because there's nothing in there. So, or it's now my filming room for my Psycho to Psychic series and for the Book of Shadows video that I'm doing. So, but it's fairly empty for the most part. And the echo is right there. It drives me crazy. So, I have been going nuts. I'm going to cover just this real quick, because I'm going to go over what the aspects, what the definitions are when we cover the planetary influences. But I do want to cover two things regarding Mercury and the sun. Okay. The sun is in conjunction with Saturn. That is what seems to be fouling up my brain like crazy. I can think on a massive level. However, getting up to go do something and remembering why I got up to go do something because my brain's already moved on to the next 5 things. I think I've done that 4 times today, and it's getting really frustrating to the point where I'm like, before I get up and walk away, I need to write down what I'm getting up for, because I can't keep walking into rooms and being like, what did I come in here for? And the Sun conjunction with Saturn is to blame for this. And it's a sober outlook and reality check to duties and responsibilities. So for somebody like me who has 101,000 to-do lists, my brain has literally been going off on to-do lists and how to better them and solidifying certain things I had to do. So my brain's been all over the place today, and I can blame the Sun in conjunction with Saturn for that. And then the other one that's been influencing, and you're going to see this a lot in the horoscopes that I cover later, is Mercury in conjunction with Venus, which is causing thoughts are creative or centered on romance, arts, and finance. But they're centered on because Mercury is in retrograde coming up and it's in Aries. This is giving you more of a irritable, detached, misunderstanding type focus on all of the creative, romance, arts, and finances. And you are literally going to see that coming in at the end of everybody's horoscope. Just a heads up, Wednesday is going to be rough for everybody. Today has been irritable. Today has been frustrating. Today has been distracting. We are reaching a peak that will hit on Friday or on Wednesday with these energies. And then we're going to start having a tapering off. But yeah, we'll get into that. Another thing that's causing a lot of people to be irritable, and this is something where I've had to kind of more, even though I can tell that I'm irritated, this is something where I've had to more focus on my central energies, because overall, with the daylight savings shift that just currently happened, guys, you can feel it. Everybody's Circadian, it starts with a C. I don't know why I always call it the Arcadian rhythm. I always have. It's something that I can't fix. Several people have tried to correct me on it, but I can't correct it. You know what it is. It's your natural body clock, pretty much. If you noticed, it causes a lot of slowdown, or like everybody put the brakes on everything and everybody's irritable. Messing with our natural body clocks, it causes so many health issues with humans. And this is what I wanted to bring over. So circadian rhythm, that's what it is. Our internal body clock. It gets out of whack and it makes you feel off. And this is why. It's the shift. The research has shown that it actually causes there's a higher risk of cardiovascular disease and heart attacks, because messing with your body clock like that and your sleep patterns and pulling yourself out of REM sleep sooner and everything else can cause fluctuations in the biometrics of the body. And the last thing that you want to mess with is the magnetic field that runs the entire body. They're referencing that injuries, including a spike in fatal car accidents. And that's because, again, your rhythm is off. Your focus is not going to be where it's supposed to be. It's going to be hard for you to, especially with Mercury and the Sun and Saturn causing us to have multiple focuses in multiple directions. The sun, us going into daylight savings time did not help us right now. Mental health and cognitive issues, because there's a higher level of depression, because when you throw off your body clock for somebody who depends on their sleep because they're depressed and they're trying to keep to a system, it's pretty much the worst thing you can do. Digestive and immune-related diseases such as colitis, and that's because, again, you're throwing off the magnetic energy of the body. And when you mess with the magnetic energy, remember, your brain, every thought you process is an electrical pulse. That electrical pulse creates a magnetic field. That magnetic field is what surrounds your body. What surrounds your body is what keeps it flowing and feeling good. You put negative thoughts out there, you feel negative. You feel the weight of it. You happy, you stay positive, hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle. You have a lighter aura. The more thought process you have to involve, this is why people get headaches, the more energy and electrical field is running through your body. The less you have to think, the more relaxed you are. Of course, your magnetic field isn't fluctuated by your brain processes. Because of this delicate balance to keep yourself sane, it can get very thrown off when you have to involve daylight savings time and the adjustment to that circadian rhythm. And I feel like I have to look it up now because they keep correct. And as I'm talking about this, I'm realizing it's not just me it's them. They're saying the circadian rhythm. So, and when they're this adamant about something, we can make note and research on it because that's how it is. So just know that a lot of those, in my opinion, to save us all from this time of year when we all feel irritable, problems are caused, we're tired, frustrations. I don't give a crap about the health industry. They make enough money as it is. I think helping people with their mental health and cognitive issues, not having a car accidents and stroke related issues, cardiovascular, I think it's a benefit to society, not a negative. So in my opinion, when it comes to daylight savings time, I think they should split the country, split it right down the middle. The West Coast can stay on daylight savings coast. The East Coast can stay on regular time. That way we're not dealing with that different imbalance in the time clock when it comes to having sunrises at 4 a.m. on the East Coast and having sunsets at 5 p.m. on the West Coast. But yeah, I think you should split it down the middle and just bam, bam. Mississippi, there's your divider. Bam, bam. I think it'll work. That's just my opinion. There are some things when I was doing my research in regards to daylight savings time that there isn't. If you thought the effects on the human body were just the only effects of it, surprisingly, there's a lot more that it affects because there's an estimated total economic cost of daylight savings time in the United States, this just for the US, is approximately $672 million loss. The cost of shifting 1 hour is $672 million annually. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If we're talking about cutting budget, there's waste right there we can get rid of. Just lock the clocks on both sides of the government, on both sides of the, there you go. It was first introduced in Germany in 1916 during World War I as an energy-saving measure, which I understand. However, I think we've come a long way since World War I in having to figure out how to create and reserve and process more energy. The US followed suit, adopting it in 1918, initially implemented it during wartime measures. Then the US tried to make it permanent. So some people were smart in the 1970s to reduce consumption during the oil crisis, which again, every time I'm reading this, to me, it looks like, okay, so it looks like they figured out how to reduce energy or help with the energy during daylight savings time, help save money overall during war times. Why does it feel like to me that once war ended and things started getting better, the people up in I don't know, JP Morgan and Chase and all the big companies that are failing right now because maybe padding your pockets for the last 10 years off of American people's dimes was not the way to go about it. I wonder if they kind of saw this as a way to pad their pockets even more during the oil crisis. Why do I feel like daylight savings time was more implemented by people who wanted to pad their pockets after World War I? Okay. In the US, the standard time year-round, sunrise and sunsets, would shift to earlier. Many health experts advocate ending daylight savings time simply because there was an experiment that they repeated within a year that proved the standard human being is able to reset their own circadian rhythm simply by advancing their own time clock on their own changes, which that to me, I didn't quite understand what the scientific terms of it meant, but it's what the experts say is basically the way I looked at it is if we need to adjust our time clocks or adjust our sleep pattern rhythm, we'll do it naturally. We don't need a shift in the time clock to do it for us. And to me, it was more, there's no health benefits from this daylight savings time. To me, it looks like all the benefits were and I do understand farmers do it. However, if you want to farm, This is where it gets complicated because I'm like, why can't the farmers just stick to daylight savings time and the rest of us live on normal time? However, I can also understand why that doesn't necessarily work, because then you have a kind of small community of the populace that is stuck in this weird time zone area. Anyway, my brain starts going crazy in this, but the cost to human, the overall, everybody in America who's affected by the shift to daylight savings time versus the benefits for the farmers and everyone else, I didn't. To me, it's more about the money. That's the reason why we haven't gotten rid of it than anything else. So, on that note, we're going to jump into a 10-minute sprint. And I'm going to I have everything organized, but I'm going to try to get my head organized because, guys, the energies today, Sun and Saturn just doesn't do me well. Anyway, 10 minutes on the clock, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. All right? In 3, 2, 1. All right, so that's the end of that sprint. And I need to move that because I grabbed the wrong mouse. I was working with two mouses there for a minute. So I did a little research on that 10-minute break to figure out why they kept calling it the Arcadian rhythm. So Arcadian or Arcadia comes from Arcus, which is a mythological or Greek god, who happened to be connected with agriculture. So I thought that was very interesting when I put that together, and I was like, so the rhythm of the farmers. So the completely opposite of what I was trying to say is like split the country in half. So we aren't dealing with that, but okay. So I don't know if my angels were trying to prove a point or what, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Either way, I thought that was funny and I thought I would share it with you. So this is going to be really quick. We're just going to go over the planetary energy overview. Not much has changed, but I am going to explain the aspects and the current aspects. We're going to be adding in the aspect explanations or the planetary aspects in the horoscope readings, because I'm noticing that a lot as I'm getting more in tuned and detail oriented in my meditations when it comes to the horoscopes. I'm seeing more of the aspect influence, especially of late, with both planets with Venus and Mercury going into retrograde soon. I'm seeing a lot more influence of the aspects coming in. And in order for me to make sense of the horoscopes, I just want to make sure that my clients and my students are aware of the aspect influence, because reading over just the planets and then going into the horoscopes, there's a lot that's going to be like, well, where did that come in from? And it's truthfully, that's actually what caused me to research the aspects, because I did the same thing. After I read over the horoscopes in my meditations, I was like, wait, a lot of this stuff, it's not explained by the planet. So where is this coming from? And I was just like, oh yeah, the conjunctions, the aspects, the squares, the sextiles. And that's just something I haven't covered because a lot of my students hadn't gotten there yet. But since the more you learn, the better. And there's never a better time to introduce things because we can correlate it to what's going on with the horoscopes this time. We're going to go over that real quick. Okay, so for my students, grab that pen and paper, that pad, because we all figured out that it's a lot easier just having that pad and paper and transferring it to your notebook later. So, Sun in Pisces, sensitive and compassionate interactions with subtle emotions at deep depth and better connection to the divine. We're going to shift this over here so I can read it better. Moon in Leo is the only change that we do have. And actually, Roseanne Pansini's response to Trisha and the way this whole situation is being handled between those two. Wow, are you ladies shifting with the moon? I actually love it because the moon tends to control. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Tends to control female emotions. Guys, every time they come in, every time, no fail. Because we started talking about Roseanne and Trisha. So basically it's ladies, watch your emotions with the moon phases right now, because Scorpio's coming up, and Scorpio's got a stinger that you're going to regret if you're not paying attention to what you're saying and everything else. Okay, so just be careful because you ladies are shifting with the moon a lot. Moon in Leo, playful childlike energies, cheerful emotions, willingness to navigate world energies, enhanced need to feel respected, jubilant engagement in creative activities and personal relationships. So Roseanne Pansini is wanting to kind of enhance need to feel respected, but at the time willingness to navigate the world's energies is very much influential with the moon in Leo. So Mercury in Aries, remember we go into retrograde on the 14th. Extremely active mental energies, expression of thought in dynamic ways, stronger ability to argue, keen powers of intellect. Venus in Aries, retrograde ends April 12th. Impulsive and strong urges in love, bolder in romance with chances to make the move and enjoy the chase, potential to be hasty in habits. Remember, retrograde movement, it's easier for us to become more irritable, unfocused, prone to misunderstanding and conflicts, and experience mental health issues with depression or anxiety. So just remember, Venus is in retrograde. So how do we apply this? Impulse and strong urges in love. Just they're going to be geared towards more of misunderstandings, conflicts, mental health issues, depression, anxiety. Next up, bolder in romance with chance to make the move and enjoy the chase. This is arguments, guys. This is not the positive side of that. This is the negative side. This is the, I'm going to tick you off just so that you can come and chase me because I want to tick you off even more. Be aware of this, okay, you guys? The next step is a potential to be hasty in habits. Bad relationships start. Horrible relationships that end horribly and with major emotional damage happen during Venus retrograde. This is why we keep reiterating, if you want to start a relationship right now, don't wait until after April 12th. Navigate, gather information, keep an eye, be objective, but don't try to start anything until after April 12th. Okay, you guys, because Venus in retrograde is just going to create a relationship that is full of chaos. And as soon as Venus goes straight again, that relationship's going to fall apart. Okay, so just be aware. Mars in Cancer, focus on domestic and emotional security, greater urgency to protect loved ones, and hypersensitivity. Jupiter in Gemini, opportunity for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curious and witty energy. Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. Uranus in Taurus, sudden changes in finance, innovative energies with practical application. Neptune in Pisces, greater emphasis on all things magical and imaginative. Spirituality will be embraced collectively. Stop trying to rush through it. I know we cover it every single time, but there are some people that are new and rushing through it doesn't help. And I mix up my words when we try to rush through it. Slow down. Because my angel, and if you're wondering what I just talked to, my angels are eager to get to the horoscopes, and they're, because I am connecting to the other side to navigate energies for what I'm doing. Yeah, angels are pushy today. I'm just going to put it that way. I'm not the only one who's got irritating energies. Pluto, okay. So, where were we? Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. We did do that, but we're just going to cover it again. Uranus in Taurus, sudden changes in finance, innovative energies with practical application. Neptune in Pisces, greater emphasis on all things mystical and magical and imaginative. Spirituality will be embraced collectively. Pluto in Aquarius, significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden endings. Level of progress will be extraordinary. Chiron in Aries, wounded healer. Oh gosh. And this covers pretty much almost the whole Democratic Party that is in mainstream media in view of the public. Wounded healer, acknowledgement of concealed traumas, opportunities for growth and deep understandings. The part that the only problem is a lot of them are missing the whole opportunity for growth and deep understanding. Acknowledgement of concealed traumas for sure. They're definitely throwing hissy fits right now, but they're missing the other half, opportunities for growth and deep understanding. Okay, so aspects, explanations for my students. Just this is going to be one of those, just jot down what you can because you're going to do some research on it on the next sprint. Okay, aspect explanations. The trin, or what we call the trin. It's an angle of 120 degrees, which is 1/3 of the entire ecliptic cycle of the planet or the sun or whatever we're referencing. Conjunction with, when two celestial bodies occupy the same degree of the zodiac. Okay. Sextile, an angle of 60, which is 1/6 of the 360-degree elliptic, or 1/2 of the trin. 1/6 of the way around its cycle is basically. So the trin is 1/3. This is how I always remember it for me. Trin, T, 3, 1/3. Okay. Sextile, 6, 1/6, half. Okay. That's how I tend to remember those two, because those two tend to be the most complicated, especially when it comes to those of you that are going to start learning to read birth charts. Okay. Those are the ones that always miss me up, and that's the best way for me to remember them. Okay. Square is when square occurs when two planets are 90 degrees apart in the zodiac. Okay. So Mercury in conjunction with Venus means that Mercury and Venus are occupying the same celestial party, right? That's what it means. Sun in conjunction with Saturn means the same thing. The Sun and Saturn are occupying the same ecliptical plane on the zodiac. It gets a little complicated for you, those that are simplified and just like the horoscope stuff. This is a little more complicated and in depth, but I do have 2 students that I know of. I think 3, if she gives herself the faith that she can do it, and I wouldn't have brought it up to her attention if I didn't think she could, that are learning to read birth charts. And so this is something that I decided to go over on my channel because I've been kind of explaining it, typing it over and over again in messages. So Mercury in conjunction with Venus, when they occupy the same zodiac, which means they're both in Aries, the thoughts are centered on romance, arts, and finance. Okay. And so when the Sun is in conjunction with Saturn and they're both in Pisces, a sober outlook and reality check to duties and responsibilities. Okay. And this happens, these change because this isn't according to how we view it from Earth. So as the Earth moves, that's why the trins, the conjunctions, the sextiles, and the squares change. Okay. The end node is a little bit different. That's why that doesn't change. However, the trin, the conjunction, the sextile, and the square are all based on the viewpoint of Earth and where you see it in the night sky. Okay, if that makes a little bit more sense for all of you. So for my clients, for those that already are studying birth charts, your challenge is to tell me the next conjunction and the next square without cheating. Don't go to your app. Don't go to your app. Go to the website, pull up the birth chart and test yourself. See if you can figure out what's the next conjunction, what is the next sextile, what is the next square, what is the next trin. Okay. For the rest of you, enjoy the 20 minutes to get some work on, but we're going to do this real quick. We're going to remove this one. We're going to mute this as we add it to the stage. We're going to bring it up. We're going to pause. Oh, the lovely things you have to do behind the scenes. Okay, so in 20 minutes, I have to go use the potty. The tea has hit. So I need to go use the potty, but I will be right back and I will see you guys in 20 minutes. Good luck to my students. And in 3, 2, 1, gotta press play. Don't forget. Time is up. That 20 minutes went fast, especially when I get bombarded with questions. So just so you guys know, I'm going to answer Erica's question just real quick. Amy, I pulled your cards. I'm going to do, because you like these cards, I have to do that. And then Brooke, I'm coming, and Noah, I'm coming. I usually do the answers to the questions at the last half when I cover horoscopes. Right now I'm going to cover my little bit of rants to tie in all the planetary influences that we just discussed in the last sprint. But for Erica, yours was simple because yours was the $5 poll. You're not going to lie, and I've tried to tell you this during Venus retrograde. Okay. And the book is confirming it. So I'm just going to read this. Okay. Your heart is mending, and deep healing is taking place. Respect that and be patient with yourself. So maybe you'll listen to the book. I love you, girl. You are as stubborn as me, and I get it. I understand. But I keep trying to tell you this. Starting a relationship in Venus retrograde is setting yourself up for failure. Okay. You literally, as soon as Venus goes out of retrograde, everything's going to go pretty much in reverse, and everything you thought was good is going to go bad. And if you built your relationship in believing that everything right now was good, and for the rest of you that are having difficulties in relationships, that's why. It's only going to get worse as Mercury goes into retrograde along with Venus. We're going to have a double whammy. Okay. Okay, and the angels have just been very energized and energetic today, which cracks me up because my brain has been on kaput pretty much for half the day. So I'm glad that they're at least taking control of the whole mindset of things. So basically what I'm going to be referencing is first of all, what we're going to be referencing is putting a couple of these down because I need a couple of these to be in my way so I can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about right now, first of all, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, and then I'm going to tie into the planetary aspects. Okay. We're going to cover it this way. The way we've decided to break it down through these rants is I'm going to cover Earth, weather and solar activity first, then politics and news. Then I will get into the Hollywood and famous people. Okay, so first on the list, the weather they're referencing, if you haven't noticed, from the cyclone in Australia to the way the weather has been beating the East Coast, the angels keep referencing that the weather will increase as the summer comes. Height of hurricane season will be formidable. Start planning now. Bad storms in the Northwest is just a precursor to what to come. The cyclone in Australia is an indication of the global effects of this. This is not just going to happen to America, everybody. This is going to happen worldwide. Our weather is changing. Mother Nature is warming up. Some Scientologists say, or some planetary people say that scientists say that it's a good thing. Some scientists say it's a bad thing. We'll see what happens. My heart goes out to the people in Australia that were affected by the cyclone. I'm glad that it got downgraded before it hit the coast, but from what I'm seeing, it was still a lot worse than all of them anticipated, and Australia took a hit. So my heart goes out to them. Thank you for Stefan Barnes for your recent solar video again. If you guys don't know who he is another fellow YouTuber that I follow incessantly because there's a lot of changes that happen that I can feel, and quickly going to his channel, usually within 5 or 6 hours, he's got a video up about something that happened. I call it coincidence. I don't know. But he was talking about how the last geostorm triggered earthquakes in Tokyo. A 6.6 as well off of Iceland. And if you haven't paid attention, California's earthquakes have ticked up. And the only reason I mentioned this is because my prediction in my last stream, if you watched, basically said that the increase to solar activity that's about to happen is what's going to cause a lot of the geomagnetic movement. And we're going to see some big changes come summer. They reference that earthquake activity is going to kick up in California in March, if not the big one. But significant changes will happen happen by June. So that is on the weather solar world front, or weather solar earth front. Next, we're just going to quickly jump into politics. First of all, I don't know what is going on with the aviation industry. At first, I thought it was just a lot of people fear mongering and trying to make big news out of nothing. But the amount of plane crashes that have been happening, to the power outages, to the near misses, to another plane crash happening in Pennsylvania, I'm kind of on the same side with Swell Entertainment. And I won't be flying anywhere anytime soon. From doors popping open to, yeah, I'll be driving my Mazda. I will be driving wherever I go. Thank you. I have no plans or need or want to fly anywhere recently. It's honestly, and there's something about the aviation industry that just makes me nervous. Just makes me nervous. And for me to be so nervous about something, that's not a good thing. So just know that. This is my this kind of goes out to Will Smith, not to anybody else. This is just something that I heard him ranting on, and I kind of want to check him a little bit because diversity. Here's a little education. Diversity, origin, divert, meaning to avert one's focus from something. That's all I'm going to say. And yet this was the first word in your guys' initiative and movement. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Doge, the pause has been waived, if you guys haven't heard. For those of you that I told you it was going to get worse before it got better, this is the start of the Mercury retrograde. Doge has been given permission by the court to move forward on all of its reviews. So for all of you that were hoping that the Supreme Court would come in and block everything, no. I hate to tell you this, but this co-aligns with the Pluto and Aquarius. I'm telling you guys, the Supreme Court has the backing of the bigger planets. They're going to be pushing forward with the correct energies. So the cryptocurrency, for my crypto friends who have asked me, about 6 of you have popped out of nowhere to ask me on Facebook. Okay, and this, I am going to be going back on what I said in 2020, 2021. During that time, I did not see any positive in cryptocurrency. However, and this, I did look into it after I did my reading. I did look into it and figure out why I saw, for just let me answer the question. Yes, good things, positive. Why? There seems to be there's more structure support to what is happening with crypto now than what I saw before. There was no safety net before. That's why I would see money just fall into oblivion. I'm seeing a bounce back of money this time. So for those of you that are wondering about the cryptocurrency or anything else, I highly recommend investing in it. From what I can see, it's going to be slow at the beginning, but within the next 5 years, it will take off. It's going to be a good long-term investment for those of you that need it. And usually my angels don't come in with investment advice because gambling, especially, it's cheating. For some reason, this doesn't feel like gambling. This doesn't feel like insider information or anything like that. So my angels are like, you know what? We've been telling them what we see. This is something we see. We don't see any negative attached to it and you telling. So there you go. There's my answer with that. The next thing I have to say is if you're mad at the tariff war that's going on, I highly recommend you investigate just how much America has been paying in tariffs to all of these countries. Canada had a 125% tariff on us already. China had a 200% tariff on us already. If you're really throwing a fit over the fact that America is putting equal tariffs on other countries, do your research, because the truth is we're just equaling the playing ground. You wouldn't charge, why, basically what the way I looked at this is, why were we getting charged to have people come buy goods from us? It's like I opened a business, I was having people come in and buy my goods, and I was paying them to purchase them. It doesn't make it make sense. So that's what I am seeing, is that all that's being done right now is creating an equal playing ground, a level playing ground. American taxpayers are no longer footing the bill for everybody else's expenses around the world. That is what's changing right now. When it comes to the border war, Also, guys, these are questions I'm just answering from people who've sent me questions on Facebook. So I should mention this. I didn't know this was a thing. I guess this is a thing now. So if you have any questions and you follow me on Facebook and you don't want to comment on the live stream, you are more than welcome to send me a message on through Facebook Messenger. Just put question and then your question, and I'll be happy to answer it on the next live stream. Because that's if you're wondering, that's kind of where I got all of this stuff, because I was like, I was going to talk about current events, but I can answer a lot of people's questions too. So, and these questions are free because these are worldwide, like social, like news anchor type, news people type questions. I have no problem answering them for free. So the border war. Argentina versus Venezuela. There's a couple of things that I saw when it came into this border war. First of all, they're pulling back in order to recoup and reassess. They're going to try to attack again. Just know that what is going on at the border war, and I'm pretty sure that everybody down there already knows this, it is not a complete withdrawal. They're withdrawing in order to recheck their resources to come back tenfold. There might be a war that breaks out at the border depending on how well we navigate the political sides of this thing. My angels keep referencing, and this is, I wouldn't be bringing this up if the FBI already hadn't done an entire documentary on this. So do your research if you don't know about this. But Hitler did survive. They found that he had actually went to Argentina. He died in Argentina. There is an entire documentary on how he started the Third Reich in Argentina. Argentina and Venezuela are very, very close allies. I wouldn't be surprised. So there's just connections there where I have to say personally that I am glad that the gang has been made a terrorist association. When I heard that it did that, I actually started crying because I actually feel safe now. Because for those of you that didn't know, a lot of the people that tried to take me out in California when I was homeless were connected to these people. So there's a level of security and safety that I now feel because that from my own country because of this, and it's not something I felt before. So I just wanted to say I appreciate that being done. In regards to the LGBT rights, here's the thing. I know a lot of my fellow people in the LGBT community are freaking out. However, I want to make something clear. Trump never took away our rights. Okay, Prop 8 still exists. The only thing, he didn't take away gay rights. He didn't change gay rights. LGBT is still, we still have our rights. And I don't know why everybody's freaking out about this other than fear mongering. He took out one part of it that truthfully navigated its way into our community. And it became a subset of our community. He didn't take out our community. So there's a lot of us that need to stop fear mongering and thinking that we're going to get wiped out, because Trump never alienated any of us. He just set a standard, and we need to stop acting like, and I hate to say it, but when it comes down to it, XXX, XY chromosomes. No surgery changes that. That's all I'm going to say. The next thing I have to say is I'm super stoked that FIFA is coming to America. I dated a lady named Adita who was from Croatia, who was obsessed with FIFA football. The Croatian team is amazing if you guys don't know soccer, but she got me into it and I kind of got a little obsessed with it. I don't watch it on the reg, but I can definitely see how it would be a definite economic boost to America to bring the FIFA here. There's a lot of people that are my ex-girlfriend, for example, that would have loved to go to a game here in America. I'm sure and I'm sure there's hundreds and there's probably a million other people that would love to do it. So I think this is a great thing. Truthfully, when I heard that was happening, all that could pop up in my mind was the Euro trip and Manchester United. And the whole scene of the on the bus with the football team, and well, I told a swamp donkey to suck it before I put the trunk in the tradesman's entrance and had it lick me up. One of the best scenes, one of the best scenes ever. So I had to thank just the president and the FIFA World Cup for obviously inciting an absolutely iconic moment in my mind of Manchester United and the whole scene from Eurotrip. And if you haven't seen the movie Eurotrip, I highly recommend it. It is, as I call it, it is a great stoner movie. Okay, it's kind of in the same line as Dodgeball and Zoolander and that kind of stuff. So the next one I wanted to talk about is anybody hear about the newest lawsuit cover up that China lost? Anybody? Yeah, the one that they were trying to prove that they weren't trying to cover up a certain thing that happened that everybody had suspicions about but couldn't say anything on because, I don't know, Politico. If you're not paying attention to world news, I highly recommend it because there's a lot coming out about what actually happened and how the whole global thing that happened might have literally been a money-making scheme sought on by world leaders. Isn't that interesting? So the next thing I had to say was Columbia University. Columbia University is a perfect example of how sometimes a judge will prosecute the first person in line extremely harshly in order to set a precedent so that the people that are coming up in line after him maybe rethink their strategies, because you just lost your funding. You want to F around and find out? This is not the year to do it. And it's definitely not the president to do it. And you may not respect the man, but you better respect the position because it's still the president. It's still a position. It was an elected position, and you may hate the person that's in it, but you need to respect the position. And in that case, I'm also proud of Pam Bondi and what she's doing and the fact that she is allowing everybody to, and don't mess around with this administration. This is not the administration to be calling their bluff, messing around and finding out, because the truth is you're going to get the hammer laid down, and it has to do not only with who is in position, but the karmic energies of the planets that are going on. These are literally the last couple of things I have covered are literally the last set of planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all influencing these changes. That's why I've kind of gone off on all of this stuff, because if you can't see it, Jupiter in Gemini, opportunities for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curious and witty energy. Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. All this stuff, from sudden changes in finances, innovative energies with practical application, greater emphasis on all things mystical, spirituality will be embraced, significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden changes. All of it, guys. All of it is being influenced by those last set of planets. And they're the big boys. So there's no avoiding them. There's no getting out of its way. It is the kind of energy that you need to just navigate. On that note, if Kamala Harris becomes governor of California, we can just kiss that whole place goodbye. Okay? If Newsom wasn't a bad enough lesson, why are you going to cut off your nose to spite your face? Why? California, wake up. And the only thing I can think of is, why do I feel like she's on a certain, now considered terrorists, payroll? Because that's what they do. They put silent sleepers in place. They pay certain people and navigate them up the chain so that they can put in the politics that they want so that they can get ahead. And it's getting shut down. So if the people of California honestly elect Harris as their governor, I would have the FBI do a deep dive on every resident that's in California at that point. And just from my own personal experience, start with the homeless. Seriously. Dead serious. Go to the I-8 underbridges. You might find who you need. The last note is for politics and news. Reddit. If you guys have stock in Reddit, pull it. Get it out of there. Reddit is failing. Reddit is going to crash and burn. There's I don't know what is going on behind the scenes on Reddit, but this is something that I actually was brought to my attention by one of my friends who has stock in Reddit and has lost quite a bit of money in the last couple days. And this person actually reached out to me and thanked me because 2 days ago he asked me and I told him to pull it, and oh my gosh, the way it has just crashed in the last couple days. He is so grateful that he had contacted me and said what he and asked, because it's going to fall, and it's going to continue to fall. I feel my feels is there's something behind Reddit, something that's going on behind the scenes, where the higher ups, the bigger people, the big ones, they're pulling, they're leaving, there's something going on up there where there's some contention, there's some fighting, and it's going to fall apart. And I feel like it's literally an egotistical fist fight that's going to rip Reddit apart. Not only that, but it has to do with whether or not I feel like Reddit just lost their funding of some sorts. They're trying to figure out how to reoccupy new money, and they can either stay their course and continue to get destroyed because of the fact that they want to have a platform of free speech and they don't want to regulate things, or they can get funding and start regulating things. And I believe this is where the fist fight and contention is at the top of Reddit is, and that's why it's going to fail, because it's like they're 50-50. Whoever are fighting, it's like 50-50 ownership, and unless they both agree, and they have a deadline, and from what I can see, these two are not going to agree before the deadline. So my recommendation with Reddit is, if you have stocks in Reddit, pull it, get it out of there. So I think that's all we're going to cover today. And I think next stream on Wednesday, I'll cover all of the Hollywood stuff, because we've already hit the 1 hour and 20-minute line. And we still have horoscopes to do and another 20-minute sprint. So I'm going to pull this up. We're going to rewind this. We're going to pull this up. We're going to put 20 minutes on the clock again for all my clients. Go back, refresh, go back the 20 minutes. Take your notes, do your scanning, all that fun stuff. For the rest of you, enjoy your sprint. I hope you get some work done, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. All right, in 3, 2, 1, and go. the end of that sprint. First of all, yay, I hope you got some work done. Go timer. Oh, I paused it. Okay, so first of all, sorry for the costume change. I spilled coffee on myself. It's bound to happen when you wear white. You're going to spill something on yourself. So I had to do a quick costume change, and I figured, well, yeah, screw it. I'm going to go with one of my comfy wumpies, because if you don't like these kind of shirts, we can't be friends. No, I'm just kidding. So we've got coming up, I've got Amy, I've got your reading. Brooke, I've got yours. And Noah, I've got yours. So that's how we're going to do this, because that's how the payments came in. So we've got Brooke and Noah. Okay. So for my dear Amy, you were talking about work choices. You have blue lace agate in reverse. You have aquamarine in reverse. And Christocola right side up. I see now why you like getting the reads from these cards. They do attune with you a little bit better. Trying to do the other reads with the other, or a read with the other cards. Yeah, you're correct. For some reason you attune better with certain energies. So we have number 12, or with these cards. So number 12, which is the blue agate, is the peaceful acceptance, stress-free, non-attachment, freedom from unnecessary dramas. Yeah, that is your past, isn't it? Oh no, that's reversed. So you've been dealing with freaking dramas. Oh, I was going to say that was your past, but no, you've been dealing with dramas. So this really focused, wow, you guys are really coming in strong on that one. Your angels are referencing that they really did focus on more of the current. Normally, the 3-card spread does the past, present, and future. They're referencing more on the actual choices of the situation. And they're acknowledging that the situation should be stressing you out, because yeah, a lot of these, I understand a lot of these choices that you've been navigating lately, Amy, they're going to set up the rest of your life. So I can understand why you're taking them so seriously. The next one you have in place is enhanced clarity, calm, discernment, awareness, and acceptance of one's truth. And that's in reverse. So all of that is reversed. And yes, you have been panicking about everything, haven't you? Your placement in life. I think this is more of acknowledgement that that the angels are acknowledging, yes, we know you're panicked. We know you're worried. We know you're stressed. This last card is their answer to your question. Speaking your truth, heartfelt communication, and right speech. You're not saying something in this situation that you need to voice. They're referencing that the make or break it will be in what you're not saying. So you need, as uncomfortable. Oh, I just felt that came over like a wave. Yes, sometimes when it comes to having to speak up about how you honestly feel about something, especially when facing like a board or a group of people that are very judgmental, it can be difficult. However, another thing you have to understand about execs is they're very much poker faced. Sometimes saying how you feel and speaking from the heart can play and pull at the heartstrings and can mitigate which way they make their decision. Okay. So understand that you need to speak your truth. You're stressed out, you're panicking, and that's because you're not being honest. And you're not being honest about what's going on. And you being honest is what's going to solidify the choice. Okay. And you've got good energy behind this, hun. Evidently, if the angels are coming in this strong about it, you've got good energy behind it. Roll with it. Okay. Next, we had Brooke and your relationship. This is a new relationship. You said you two met just recently. So you've got the moon, which does indicate it's a new relationship. Then you've got the 2 of Pentacles. And this is where I went, the Knight of Cups in reversed. It's not, the cups represent emotion. The Knight in Cups is usually your representation of your knight in shining armor. It's not, but this also has to do with how many times do I need to tell you that starting a relationship during Venus retrograde, it's going to appear one way, but in the end, it's going to be the complete opposite. And this is exactly what the cards are showing. I hope you please listen to me, because the last thing you need is more heartbreak. Okay. I wish, and like it's kind of funny because the angels keep flashing to me Brooke from Dance Moms, and they're like, "We want you to be like this," because Brooke with Dance Moms is that, you know, we want you to be here, not here, and let's get you here, okay? So and one way to do that is to stop trying to look for a relationship during retrograde. You're not even supposed to be looking for a relationship anyway. I don't know how many times we've discussed this. I'm not going to fist fight. I'm not going to butt my head against a brick wall with you on that. I've already said it. But when it comes to starting a relationship right now during Venus retrograde, you're looking at the Knight of Shining Armor being absolutely not what you think it is. Okay. And for Noah, business. You've got some really, really good energy in business. First, you have the Knight of Cups. Then you have the Two of Swords. Then you have the Ace of Cups. Okay. The only problem is let me double check this because they're referencing that you need to trust your gut instinct. And I'm just going to double check. I'd rather you guys not yell at me for double checking. Ace of Swords. Other way. There you go. Ace of Swords. Clouded judgment, feeling stuck, looping negative thoughts, patterns, and a time to speak the truth. So, yeah. Forward thinking, progress and upgrades, conscious connection. So, in regards to the business situation, you need to trust your gut. Basically, trust your gut instinct. They're referencing that the Knight of Cups, you started this project with heartfelt ventures. Your heart was in it when you started this project. A lot of things, Two of Swords, a lot of things have come in that have kind of blindsided you, that have kind of made you pick between one side or the other. They're referencing that trusting your instinct is what's going to get you the benefit of, you're going to make the money if you trust your instinct in all of this, okay? You started this with your heart, lead with your heart. That's what I always tell to my clients. When you start a project one way, if you start it with the logical mindset, continue with the logical mindset all the way through it. If you start it as a passion project, leave it as a passion project. If you shift the energies midway through a project, you're going to change the overall acceptance of that energy on the back end. Like for instance, in movies, Snow White, when you have a lot of negative energy attached to a movie, you can't, the people feel it. Society feels it. Unfortunately, society as a whole is just becoming more sensitive to energies in general. And we're starting to see it across the board. And it's going to intensify because that was kind of the whole purpose of this 10-year shift of Aquarius. So, because we're in the time of Aquarius, guys. All right. And on that note, we're going to shift into horoscopes. So how I do this, there they are again. Oh, wow. Okay. So, I always like the bum rut. There's so many that come in. There's at least 12 that come in when I do horoscopes, and that's why it overwhelms me. So the way I usually do this is I start with Aries and I go all the way through to the end. I leave Scorpio at the end simply because I am a Scorpio, and if I try to do a reading for Scorpio halfway through, they come in with messages and I can't shut them up. So it's better to just leave them at the end. So for my Scorpios, I'm sorry, but that's the way we work. Hi, Sandy. Hello. Just in time. So we're going to start from here. Let me get my cup because my voice always gets scratchy halfway through this. All right. We're going to be running through Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, even though Monday's halfway over. This at least will give you a quick overview of maybe why today was so frustrating. Just remember that on Wednesday, we had a lot of the energies, especially from this overall frustration level is just going to continue into Wednesday. So Monday is for Aries. Difficult, tension-filled, and restless energies, egotism in conversations, strong self-expression with ability to rethink and reevaluate situations. Into Tuesday, we've got hyper energies in mental processing and thinking, but watch for errors in judgment. Strong anxiety-filled, panic-driven, and overwhelming energies, especially in financial and money, come in midday. Stay calm, slow down to speed up kind of energy. Your energy focuses to changes in responsibility and obligations by the end of day. on Thursday, on Tuesday. On Wednesday, past situations may need your attention as the sun, and this is due to Sun and Saturn influences, okay? Strong emotional and decision-oriented energies with clarity of obligations and meaning of oneself by end of day. Wednesday for you, Aries. Okay, so Mondays today was just tension-filled, irritating. I need to just get through the day type energy. Tuesday, you're going to have hyper processing, but also a little bit of panic-driven energy, especially in finances. On Wednesday, all the under past bubbly emotions going to bubble to the surface. So just be aware. Okay. For my Tauruses, on Monday, we've got strong analytical and processing energies in conversation, discover-filled and meaningful energies, especially in emotions, throughout the entire day. You have detachment and analytical type energies with productivity, especially in thoughts and processing of emotions. They're referencing Tauruses that on Monday, you're going to have to be very careful not to dwell in the emotion. Acknowledge the emotion, understand it, move past it. If you have to cry, cry. Set a timer. Don't let the emotion consume you. Okay, Tauruses on Monday. Tuesday, focus on private and personal endeavors with underlying agitation. Focus turns to private and personal endeavors with underlying agitation. Impatient, imbalanced energies come in, especially in the emotional department. It's going to be best midday to self-soothe and self-distract. Overall life direction comes into focus by end of day. Tuesday for you Tauruses, you're going to be very judgmental of yourself. Just be careful. Into Wednesday, we have responsibilities, obligations come into focus, especially in your friends and social sector. Strong energies and hopes and dreams. Authoritative and indecisive type energies do come in with the ability to be harsh towards the end of the day. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. All right, Tauruses for your Wednesday. For my Geminis, Monday, you've got strong mental, quick wit type energies, strong energies and desires and relationships with a focus on social goals. Unresolved issues or unlearned lessons come into focus by end of the day. Maybe time to reevaluate and take a new direction, especially in the way you approach relationships. Tuesdays, you've got misrepresenting, misleading, and impatient energies. Distracting and all-consuming mental energies will be aggravating you throughout the day. Goals and responsibilities especially come into focus with a strong urge to better oneself. Self-soothe, but also assess. Geminis on Tuesdays, okay? On Wednesdays, you have incredibly strong reputation, rebellious, and responsibility type energies. How you can have rebellious and responsible type energies at the same time. My energies, my angels are referencing that the rebelliousness is going to be more in having to deal with the reputation and the responsibilities. Okay. Clarity and overwhelming clarity will be overwhelming in the point of reevaluating, reexamining with strong judgment, and especially when it comes to self. So Geminis, you're going to have that very judgmental energy kind of continue into Wednesday. Just be careful. Self-soothe, self-distract, be aware of it, but, plan to make changes. Don't just ignore it. Be aware of it, make changes, but, also look at the good side of things, including the bad side. Make sure you're doing that equal balance with your emotions, this week, Gemini, okay? Leos, that was Gemini's, right? Or, yeah, sorry. I was going to say, we skipped one because Leo was not next. Cancers. On Monday, you've got restless, frustrating, irritable energies with overwhelming emotions with a focus on relationships and reevaluation. Reassessing, readjusting energies come in by end of day. Be aware to keep your hope... Why did I put it that way? Hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle, Cancers. For Tuesday, you've got clarity and reevaluating type energies, especially in plans and routines. You have good energies to shake things up, move things around as needed, reorganize those to-do lists, Cancers that we maybe made in February. This is going to be the time to kind of apply them, okay? Focused, productive, and skill-based energies do come in by end of the day. On Wednesdays, you've got accountability and reassessing type energies with the ability to reorganize, energies with prioritizing and realigning mentalities, especially in goals and long-term plans. Self-discipline will be needed by the end of day. So basically, Wednesday, you guys are going to, Wednesdays for Cancers, you're going to have such good, strong mental energies to be able to set up the rest of your year that you might end up getting a little out of control by the end of the day. So just be aware of that. Because sometimes Cancers, when you're on an emotional roll, you can take it out of the park, and you got to keep it in line. For my Leos, temporary energies on Mondays, disruptions on all levels. So you have temporary disruptions of energies on all levels for my Leos today. Perceptive, awakening, and enlightening type energies come in by the afternoon, especially in conversations and connections. Disassociated and detached energies come in by end of day. On Tuesday, that's because this preps for Tuesday, because you've got overwhelming and overstimulating type energies to start on Tuesday. Strong emotional focus with demanding connections and exploring and experimental type undertones. Be careful with your emotions on Tuesdays, Leos, okay? Make sure you are addressing all issues in the intimate relationships by end of day. On Wednesdays, focus on neglected areas, especially within the intimate and the financial sectors, come into focus. Strong energies for realizations and epiphanies comes in mid-morning. Find strength in building your bubble. Basically, there's not many times that we tell Leos, especially, to detach from social energies. Wednesday is going to be one of those days that you're going to want to find strength in that detachment. Build up the walls of your bubble to stay safe. Overwhelming, burdensome emotional energies do come in by the end of day. Try to find balance between the mind, heart, and body. Okay. Meditate on, if Leos, if you've never done candle meditation, or if you're doing candle meditation, Wednesday is going to be a very good day to test how well you are able to meditate during disruptive energies. Okay. And at the same time, it's also a good way to distract yourself from very disrupting energies. Okay. For my Virgos, on Monday, so you've got changing and distracting energies with miscommunications, misunderstandings, especially in conversations surrounding business. Today's a bad business day for Virgos, okay? Breakthroughs and discovery type energies with detachment and objectifying undertones do come in end of days with the ability to reevaluate early date assessments. So if you make any mistakes in the morning, Virgos, just know you're going to have the energy now to be able to fix it, okay? On Tuesdays, you've got surprising tension-based energies with rethinking, relearning, and with exciting undertones. A clash between home and business with strong pull towards responsibilities comes in the overall day. Having to pay attention to what you need versus what you want. There's going to have to be that balance that you give and take on Tuesdays, okay, Virgos? On Wednesdays, you've got focused and judgmental energies on goal and commitments. Unpredictable and unstable energies come in by midday in the social department only. Decision-making and judgmental energies with the need to communicate come in by end of day. Whatever happens to you socially during the day, Virgos, remember, you have home. You have your family. You can talk and stress there, okay? So find security on Wednesday in the home. This is why we also spent a good portion of this beginning of the year stabilizing the home, if you Virgos were on the right side of karma, okay? And this always happens at number 6. Okay, so Libras, we've got strong energies and communications and connections, especially in the social department on Mondays. Watch for negative patterns in others. Open-minded and learning type energies will be needed to get you through the day. You have the ability to review, rehash, and negotiate, and be able to reflect upon past situations to help solve current problems. By the end of day, take time to yourself. You're going to need to basically hide away by the end of the day and do some self-soothing. On Tuesdays, you've got reevaluating and intriguing energies and conversations. Rushing and overwhelming energies do come in by midday with distracting and mind-consuming energies, but be aware of your decision-making. During this time, try not to make any decisions because you might not understand them completely just because the energies are not allowing you to think straight. They're referencing that for Libras on Tuesdays, the day is going to be very distracting kind of mental energies like my mental energies have been today. Okay. Work to be present mentally in all activities. Focus on chores and routines with a confident and realistic undertone. Don't put too much pressure to get things done, Libras, on Tuesdays, okay? On Wednesdays, you've got reassessing, reevaluating, and temporary exaggeration of responsibilities. Okay, let me restart that one. On Wednesdays for you, Libra, you've got reassessing, reevaluating, and a temporary exaggeration of responsibilities focused energies. Magnified focus on unfinished business, clarity and priorities with serious undertones. So just know Tuesday, if you can't get something done Tuesday, you can get it done Wednesday, is basically what they're trying to say. So for my Sagittariuses, yeah, because Tuesdays, Libras, just do your best to self-soothe. Sagittariuses, on Monday, strong emotions in conversations with a sense to keep busy. Illuminating but overwhelming energies in love and intimate sector come in by midday, with strong reevaluating type energies towards end of day. On Tuesday, you've got impatient, irritating, and aggravating energies with underlying tensions. Decisions in home and personal life come into focus, but this is not in a good way. This is going to be in a bad way, so just be aware. Don't pick on yourself too much, okay? Focus shifts to responsibilities and obligations with a sense of structure by end of day. For Wednesdays, you've got magnification on home and personal life with ability to gain balanced perspectives. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. Do for others what they do for you. Make sure that you're not expelling too much energy on helping others. Productivity and organization type energies with a prominent need to get back on track by end of day. They're basically referencing Sagittarius's try not to focus too much on the social when it comes to Tuesday and Wednesday, so you're not having to play catch up in your personal life by end of day Wednesday. They're referencing that come Thursday and Friday, you're going to really regret it if you're not on top of things this week. Okay, Sagittarius is. For my Capricorns, on Monday, new information and perspectives on past relationships comes into view. Reevaluation with the ability to have epiphany type energy. Imbalanced and impractical energies, especially between heart and mind, come in by midday. Self-soothe and be kind. Judgment energies with past unresolved issues with the ability to process and understand does come in by the end of the day, but this has a restless and tension-filled undertones. Basically, Capricorns, don't beat yourself up by the end of the day today for situations that you can't control in regards to relationships in the past. All right. Tuesday, clever and technical energies with distracting mental energies to boot. Misunderstanding and confusing with misinterpreting energies does come in by midday. Also, everything takes on a very serious undertone, especially communications. And by the end of the day, they're referencing that you're going to be searching for your independence, Capricorns. Make sure that you're able to be in an area or have a safe space where you can express this energy. The need to feel that, I don't know why, but they're almost showing me like you're going to need to like go stand on a cliff and just scream. Okay. Wednesday, you've got strong, serious energies in communications and networking. Again, frustrating and irritating energies with overwhelming emotions and responsibilities. Words have staying power, so use your words wisely. Okay. Detaching type energies does come in by the end of the day if you need to use them. Capricorns, you guys are Venus retrograde throws Capricorns for a loop because as business-minded as Capricorns are, their hearts are in romance and love. And with Venus in retrograde, especially with the sun in Pisces, that is why Capricorns, you seem to be struggling with a lot of past unresolved issues in the relationship department. However, this is also your chance and ability to be able to let things go. And that's going to be a benefit for you if you can get through it. For my Aquariuses, chaotic mental energies to start the day, awakening and insightful energies, especially in relationships and in the independent sector, come in midday. Clarity and revelation type energies, especially in past experiences, with renewed interest in self-discovery. Redesigning, renewing, and reinventing type energies come in by end of day. Tuesday, you have rushed and distracting energies with error-prone, misleading, and damaging energies in communications. Be careful, Aquariuses. Good energies and ideas and feelings with power of persuasion by end of day. It's a good time to make those planned changes that we had put in place or had put to the side in February. On Wednesday, you have responsibility and obligations and financials come into focus. You're able to handle with maturity the things that you weren't able to handle before. Slow and steady to succeed. Worry-filled, frustrating, and heavy energies do come in by end of day. They're referencing hope for the best, plan for the worst, to keep your mind in the middle to navigate Wednesday. All right, for my Pisces, we've got frustrating, irritating, and aggravating energies to start on Monday. A slowdown of sorts does come in with midday with strong, curious mental energies and a focus on assets and financial. New perspectives and revelations, especially in business and money, does come in by end of day. On Tuesday, you've got active, renewing, and motivating type energies. Watch for troublemaking type behavior and acting out. Okay, you're going to feel high strung, overwhelmed, and active all at the same time. And Pisces, you don't do well in this energy, so be aware of it. Focus on cleaning up and moving out instead of irritating others. Spring clean if you need to, basically. Wednesday, you have strong negative mental energies. This is not going to be a good Pisces. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be overwhelming for you. You've got a lot of negative emotional energies that come in that is going to disrupt the mental processing because you don't do well when you have to think through emotions. Okay, so just be aware. Balance and clarity and responsibility in home comes into focus. You have discouraging and stifling type energies with the ability to see weaknesses and vulnerabilities in yourself by end of day. That's why so Wednesdays, don't be mean to yourself, Pisces, on Wednesdays. Okay, self-distract, self-soothe, find something to literally just take the focus off yourself. Okay, so for my Scorpios, revelations, reevaluating, and understanding energies in work and relationships come in. Distracting, confusing, and irritable energies comes in midday with a strong positive turn in communications and conversations with foreseeable and flexible energies by end of day. Tuesday, you have enlightened, illuminating, and revealing energies and communications with compelling and motivating undertones. Tension of unresolved issues with impatient undertones comes in midday. Restless, doubt-filled, and unsatisfied energies with restless and compulsive undertones. Thought processes take a serious turn towards love and the intimate by end of day. Scorpios, this is that time when you're going to feel like you need to be in a relationship. This is that time. If you're single, you're going to need to feel like you need to be in a relationship. If you're already in a relationship, you're going to feel like you need to improve your relationship. This is Venus retrograde. Don't let it throw you for a loop. A, if you're single, stay single. B, before you decide that you need to fix your relationship, talk to your partner. Okay. On Wednesday, we have strong ability to see different views and perspectives in personal and love life. Reassuring, reevaluating energies based on new information comes in midday. Overwhelming and magnified negative energies are temporary, but they do come in towards the end of the day with a strong focus on reorganizing and restructuring, especially in business and work. Okay, so Scorpios, we have a little bit of the negative energy more in the business department on Wednesday, but more in the love department on Tuesday. So just be aware. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, warlocks, witches, writers, and wanderers, that is the end of our stream. It has been an interesting journey. It has been an interesting voyage, and my head has been all over the place. Truthfully, I'm going to have to watch the stream back to figure out what happened. I have been so scattered today. I can't tell you what I did 10 minutes ago. So we're going to put our cheers up before I make a fool of myself, if I haven't done so already. More likely I have. So for all my friends, family, and everyone else, thank you for watching. To my replay crew, thank you for coming back. Just remember to like and subscribe, ring that bell. I'm going live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to give you all the information, fill your time with a little bit of gossip. And may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And if my Gemini ascending node hasn't been so obvious this stream, I don't know what has. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.